Electricast.
This episode is brought to you by Audi. The road is calling. Embrace the thrill of the drive with the all-new, fully electric Audi Q6 e-tron. Featuring effortless power, serious acceleration, and advanced Audi tech. It's not just a new EV. It's a new way to experience driving. The all-new, fully electric Audi Q6 e-tron is here. The next chapter of Audi starts now.
Go further with the American Express Business Gold Card. Earn 3 times membership rewards points on flights and prepaid hotels when you book through AmexTravel.com. Whether your destination is a business conference or a client meeting, your purchases will help you earn more points for future trips. Experience more on your travels with Amex Business Gold. Terms apply. Learn more at americanexpress.com/business-gold. Amex Business Gold Card. Built for business by American Express.
Welcome to Her Extraordinary Life by Design, where we celebrate women who are shaping their lives one extraordinary day at a time. I'm your host, Leslie Gaudet, self-care coach for women who are ready to make self-care a priority to support them in life and business. Every week, I'll be speaking with inspiring women from various walks of life who will share their personal journeys and will discover how they have fearlessly carved their own paths as business owners, passionately pursuing their dreams and creating a meaningful impact on their communities. So let's get started. What if I told you that the way you manage your time and energy directly impacts your financial success? That it's not just about how many hours you work, but about how you protect your capacity to create, strategize, and execute at the highest level. For high-achieving women, financial success isn't just about how much money you make. It's about how well you manage and protect your energy so that you can sustain and scale your success. Yet, so many entrepreneurs fall into the trap of believing that working more hours equals making more money. But in reality, burnout and exhaustion don't create financial freedom. They create time poverty. That feeling of always playing catch up, constantly reacting to what's urgent instead of leading with intention. Time is currency, but energy is the asset that fuels how effectively you use that time. If you want to increase your wealth without working longer hours, you must learn to protect and leverage your energy so that your time works for you, not against you. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Leslie's Corner Monthly Musings here on Her Extraordinary Life by Design podcast. I'm your host, Leslie Gaudet, and today we're going to dive into a concept that has completely shifted the way I approach my work, my energy, and my overall well-being, and that is how optimizing your time and energy can help you create more freedom, fulfillment, and sustainability in your life and business. This isn't just about scheduling your day better or trying to squeeze more productivity out of every hour. It's about understanding where your energy is going, how it's being spent, and whether it's fueling the success you're working so hard to build. I've lived this lesson firsthand. Back in 2017, I hit a brick wall. I felt completely off, but I couldn't pinpoint why. I kept pushing, I kept working harder, but something wasn't right. And when I went to the doctor, all my tests came back normal. There was no medical reason given to me to support why I felt exhausted, drained, and disconnected from my life. It wasn't until I made the bold decision to leave my full-time job that everything became clear. I wasn't physically sick. I was energetically depleted. I was giving all of my time to work, but I wasn't protecting my energy. And that one shift, taking ownership of my time and stepping into entrepreneurship, was what finally allowed me to reclaim my freedom, create a life and business that actually fueled me, and ultimately step into my purpose as a coach. And that's what we're talking about today. Because if you feel like you're constantly working, constantly doing, but you're not actually seeing the financial growth or personal fulfillment you desire, then this is for you. By the end of today's conversation, you'll understand why managing your energy, not just your time, is key to building sustainable financial success. The biggest time and energy traps that keep high-achieving women overworked and feeling like they're not seeing the full return on their efforts. And 3 powerful strategies to protect your energy, maximize your time, and create more freedom without working more hours. So let's get into it. When we think about financial success, we often focus on strategy, pricing, revenue streams, and business models. But what's often overlooked is the very thing that determines how well we execute those strategies, and that's our energy. There's a common belief that working more equals earning more. The idea that if we just put in a few extra hours, answer a few more emails, or take on a few more projects has us believing that we'll finally break through to the next level of success. But here's the reality. More hours does not equal more income. In fact, the more time you spend working without protecting your energy, the less effective you become. So if hard work alone created wealth, every exhausted entrepreneur would be financially thriving. But that's not always the case. Because the truth is, it's not just about managing your time. It's about protecting your decision-making power, your mental clarity, and your ability to execute at the highest level. Think about it. Have you ever tried to create content or brainstorm ideas at the end of a long, exhausting day, only to feel completely stuck? Or have you ever spent hours on a task that should have taken you 30 minutes because your brain just wasn't functioning at full capacity? And have you ever said yes to something that wasn't aligned with your goals, your bigger vision, just because you didn't have the energy to think through the long-term impact? This is what I call the productivity income illusion. It's when you're drained, you're overworked, and you're stretched thin, you're not just tired. Instead, you're operating at a lower level of effectiveness. Your ability to think strategically, to make sound financial decisions, and execute efficiently decreases. So financial success isn't just about how much time you put in. It's about how well you manage your energy so that the time you do invest produces maximum results. So let's talk about why energy protection is the missing piece. Many entrepreneurs obsess over optimizing their schedules, right? They time block, they use productivity apps, they create routines. And while all of these can help, they miss a critical piece of the puzzle, and that is optimizing themselves. Because here's the truth. It's less about needing a better schedule and more about building in a better way of managing your energy. Think of it this way. Your brain has a limited amount of high-level decision-making capacity every day, which means that your creativity, your focus, and ability to think strategically are not unlimited resources. So if you burn through your best energy on the wrong things, like back-to-back meetings with no time to think, or saying yes to requests that drain you, or even filling your days with reactive tasks instead of proactive income-generating work, then by the time you do sit down to make big financial or business decisions, your energy tank is empty. That's why successful women don't just manage their time, they fiercely protect their energy. Because when your energy is optimized, you make faster, more confident decisions. You create at a higher level and you operate with clarity and focus. And this is what leads to sustainable success, not working longer hours. Now let's talk about what really happens when you push yourself too hard and you don't protect your energy. When you're overbooked, overcommitted, and under-recovered, it doesn't just make you tired, it affects everything. Because when exhaustion takes over, you say yes to the wrong things, not because you want to, but because you're too tired to evaluate properly. So instead of strategically choosing what aligns with your vision, you default to reactive decision-making. You take longer to complete tasks. When your energy is depleted, even simple things feel hard. Meaningful tasks that should take a short amount of time, quick and easy, they end up stretching into hours because your brain is running on fumes. You make reactive decisions instead of strategic ones. So instead of leading with clarity and intention, you start making choices from a place of stress and overwhelm. And in business, financial success isn't just about how much you do, it's about how effectively you show up in the moments that matter. Because here's the bottom line. Your revenue isn't determined by how many hours you work. It's determined by the quality of decisions you make during those hours. And that's why protecting your energy shouldn't just be a choice when you're feeling depleted, but rather an essential decision you make daily to protect it at all times. Your time is currency, but your energy is the asset that determines how well you invest that currency. So if you want to run a successful business without burning out, you must stop equating productivity with effectiveness. So instead of asking, how much can I get done today? Ask yourself, how can I protect my energy so that when I do work, I show up at my highest level? Because when you optimize your energy, you optimize your time. And when you optimize your time, you create more wealth, you create more freedom, you create more impact without working longer hours. So now that we understand the connection between time, energy, and wealth, let's dive into the biggest mistakes that keep entrepreneurs stuck in overwork and how to avoid them. As women, we're no strangers to hard work, whether we're juggling careers, businesses, or personal goals, right? And for moms, that hard work is amplified in ways I didn't fully appreciate when I was younger. I grew up watching my mom, a single mother, do everything in her power to make sure that my brothers and I had a roof over our heads, we had food on the table, clothes on our back, and that we valued education. She made it look effortless, but now as an adult, I see just how much strength and sacrifice that took. And I'll be honest, when I was early in my career as a legal assistant paralegal full time, I didn't fully understand how hard that working moms have it. Truth be told, I used to feel frustrated when moms in my office left early or took time off for their kids, not realizing that they were doing two full-time jobs at once. Now I see it differently. Whether you're raising kids or you're building a career or business or juggling it all, the truth is we're all carrying a lot. And that's why learning to protect our time and energy is so critical for every woman. And when you think about it, hard work without intention doesn't always lead to success. In fact, it often leads to overwork, frustration, and burnout. Many entrepreneurs unknowingly fall into patterns that drain their time and energy, keeping them in a cycle of doing more but achieving less. So I want to share with you 4 common mistakes that can trap even the most ambitious entrepreneurs and how to avoid them. So mistake number 1, confusing busyness with progress. Being busy is not the same as being productive. But in a culture that glorifies hustle and constant action, it's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that a packed schedule equals success. And a packed schedule doesn't always mean progress. In fact, it can leave you feeling like you're running in place, constantly busy, but never truly moving forward. Meaning you finish your day exhausted. But did you actually move the needle or just stay busy? And are your daily tasks truly fueling your financial and personal growth or just filling your calendar? If your schedule was a bank account, for example, would you be investing in high-yield activities or spending on low-return tasks? Think about it that way. Many women fill their schedules with tasks that feel productive, responding to emails, sitting in on meetings, tweaking their website, organizing their workspace. But these things don't always generate real results that they're looking for, right? The problem is, without intentional focus, work becomes just a series of tasks that we put on our to-do list rather than a path towards meaningful progress. So what can you do instead? Well, first, you start tracking where your time actually goes, right? Try it for a week. Find out, where is my time going? The second thing is, ask yourself, is what I'm working on bringing me closer to my bigger vision, or is it just keeping me busy doing a lot of things just to fill time? And then third, prioritize high-impact activities that actually directly contribute to revenue building, business growth, or even your personal fulfillment. Productivity isn't about how much you do, it's about how much of what you do that actually matters. Okay, mistake number 2, not protecting your energy in the same way that you protect your money. You wouldn't let your bank account get drained with no plan to replenish it, right? Yet many women let their energy reserves hit zero every day without a second thought. I mean, think about it. Would you give out your personal savings to anyone who asked without limits? Would you spend all your money without budgeting for future needs? And would you let unnecessary expenses pile up until you were completely financially depleted? Well, of course you wouldn't, right? But that's exactly what's happening with energy when boundaries aren't in place to protect it. Every meeting, decision, social interaction, and commitment that you take on is you doing a withdrawal from your energy reserves. And if you're not intentionally replenishing those reserves, eventually you hit an energetic overdraft. And the cost of an energy overdraft is slower decision-making, diminished creativity and problem-solving ability, and more time spent fixing mistakes due to fatigue. So if this is you and you want to shift the drain to replenish, start tracking what drains you versus restores your energy. Create an energy budget. Decide how much energy you're willing to spend on different activities, including the people that you spend time with who are energy drainers. You know who yours are. We all have them. And then set boundaries around meetings, social obligations, and work hours, just like you set financial limits. Your energy is just as valuable as your money. And that's why it is so important that you treat it like your most precious resource. If you're willing to protect your time at all costs, then protecting your energy should be just as non-negotiable, because how well you manage your energy determines how well you use your time. Okay, let's move on to mistake number 3. Letting urgency dictate priorities. If everything feels urgent, it's easy to spend your entire day reacting instead of being proactive, right? When you're constantly in firefighting mode, long-term planning and high-level strategy takes a back seat. If your inbox, your social media, and last-minute requests control your schedule, you're not running your business. Your business is running you. Urgency creates the illusion that you're being productive, when in reality, you're just putting out fires instead of making strategic moves. So some signs to watch for that signal you're operating in reactive mode are your inbox and DMs dictate your day before you even decide what actually matters. Or you're always on, but you're rarely in control because your schedule is filled with obligations, not priorities. Your highest value work gets pushed aside while low impact tasks take over, and you're so busy handling right now that next level never happens. If any of those signs sound familiar, staying in reactive mode isn't just exhausting, right? It's expensive because it's costing you clarity, has the potential to cost you revenue and the ability to operate as the CEO of your life and your business, right? So the question becomes, how do you shift from constantly putting out fires to leading with intention? So I want to give you some power moves, because this is where they come in to help you so you become more proactive rather than reactive. So power move number 1 is train your team and your clients to respect your priorities, to respect your time boundaries. If you're constantly firefighting because of urgent requests, the real issue isn't your workload. It's that people assume your time is always available to them. Right? So as an example, you have a client that just calls you out of nowhere. They have your number and they just decide they're going to call you. And it's not the time for your call because maybe you do calls via phone. And so they're calling you to have a conversation. They've got your phone number. And so that's a boundary being stepped over because they assume you're always available, right? So instead of starting your day, for example, with the client who is maybe calling you out of the blue, is having that boundary with them to say, we have these scheduled time slots. And if you want to speak outside of our framework that we've created together, then send me a message and let's see what we can come up with together so that both your need is met, making sure that you're able to meet them where they're at, but on your terms, right? So that they're not going to take advantage of you being the person who they've assumed that you're always available to them. And when it comes to urgent requests, things like your emails and messages, instead of starting your day reacting to those things, train your team, train your clients, and even your audience, if you have an audience of people, on your response times and availability, right? So you go live every week. Like, for example, I go live on my LinkedIn and YouTube channel together simultaneously, typically 12:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wednesdays. And so that is training my audience that this is when you can expect for me to be live, that this is when I'm going to be presenting. The same thing when it comes to emails and messages, or with my clients who I'm working with through my program. My availability to them is Monday through Friday through WhatsApp, as well as we have a call every week, and they have a set date for that. But outside of that scope, they're not emailing me or messaging me over the weekend. It's during that time frame, right? So it's really like setting in those boundaries so that people respect your priorities and also that you learn to respect your priorities too. So instead of, again, For example, responding immediately to every Slack or email. Set response windows, like I answer emails at 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. Or again, like I was saying with my clients, I'm available WhatsApp Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern. And that's the time frame so that they are aware of how it's structured so that they honor my time and that also allows them to understand when I'm available. Again, this trains people to respect your boundaries without you needing to reinforce them daily. Power move number 2, set an urgency filter before you say yes. So instead of defaulting to, I need to handle this now, run every task through an urgency filter. Does this directly impact revenue, my well-being, or my highest priorities? Is this something only I can do, or should I delegate? Can I delegate it? And what happens if I don't respond immediately? If it's not high impact, it waits, period, right? This shifts you from reactive decisions to intentional decision making. Okay. Power move number 3, lead your business, don't just operate it. Too many high achieving and ambitious women find themselves trapped in the day-to-day operations of their business, constantly delivering, responding, and managing, but rarely leading. If you're spending all your time in execution mode, you're running a demanding job, not a scalable business. True CEOs build with intention. That means protecting time and energy each week for growth strategy, moving beyond task management to long-term vision and impact, revenue building activities, and focusing on partnerships, high-value offers, strategic decisions that actually move the business forward, and leadership development because you are the most valuable asset in your business and how you show up determines how far you grow. If your schedule is packed with busy work and constant obligations, you're not running your business, you're being run by it. And if your business is running you, it's time to step back, shift your role, and start leading with clarity and purpose so that you can build a business that supports your life, not one that consumes it. Mistake number 4, ignoring the warning signs of energy depletion. Many women push through exhaustion because they believe rest is a luxury, like self-care, right? Almost like they feel that they can't afford to stop when in reality, taking care of you means that you can't afford not to. But ignoring the warning signs of energy depletion can have serious consequences, not just for your health, but for your ability to show up powerfully in your work and your life. Warning signs that your energy is out of alignment could be brain fog, where you struggle to focus, forget things easily, or feel mentally sluggish, or decision fatigue. Even the smallest of choices feel overwhelming and you second guess yourself constantly. Frustration and irritability. Tasks that used to feel easy now feel frustrating. And then procrastination. You put off important work because you don't have the energy to tackle it. These aren't signs that you need to push harder. They're signs that you need to pause and recalibrate. So what to do instead is really to identify the warning signs before they cost you. Because burnout doesn't just drain your energy, it impacts your decision-making, your creativity, and your ability to lead. The earlier you recognize it, the faster you can course correct. Treat recovery as a performance strategy, not an afterthought. Your brain isn't designed to operate at full capacity 24/7. So build in intentional recharge time so that when you're working, you're at your peak, not just going through the motions. Start each day with an energy check-in. Before diving into your tasks, ask yourself, what does my energy need today to operate at my highest level? Then adjust accordingly, whether it's setting firmer boundaries, shifting your priorities, or giving yourself more space to think and strategize. Remember, your energy isn't an unlimited resource, so don't treat it like it is. You need to replenish it so that you keep the gas tank full. The takeaway here is work smarter, not harder, right? If you find yourself working more but not seeing bigger results, it's time to take a step back and look at where your time and energy are really going. Are you staying busy instead of being intentional? Are you protecting your energy like you protect your money? Are you leading your time, or are you letting urgency control your schedule? Are you paying attention to the early signs of depletion, or are you pushing through until burnout forces you to stop? Listen, these mistakes don't have to be a permanent state of being. Instead, they're just ways for you to track your patterns so that they can be shifted. So now that we've uncovered what can keep you stuck in not using your energy wisely, let's move into strategies that will help you reclaim your time, energy, and freedom without sacrificing your success. So I want to leave you with 3 power moves to optimize your time and energy for sustainable success. Number 1, the 80-20 rule for energy protection. Instead of looking at which tasks generate 80% of your revenue, ask which tasks require 80% of my energy, of my best energy. Identify the high impact activities that demand you to be mentally sharp, creative, and strategic. These need to be scheduled when your energy is at its peak, not squeezed into leftover time. So what you can do is audit your schedule for the past week. Take a look, see when you felt the most energized, when you felt drained or distracted, what drained you the most that you feel now you can delegate or automate, or you can even eliminate altogether, and redesign your schedule so that your high impact tasks align with your peak energy periods. Okay. Number 2, protect your energy like your bank account. Entrepreneurs guard their finances, but they don't always guard their energy. If you had $100,000 in the bank, would you let people withdraw from it all day long with no plan? Of course not. But that's exactly what happens when you don't set energy boundaries and let distractions, meetings, and unnecessary tasks drain your reserves. So start tracking your energy overdrafts. What depletes your energy the most? What activities recharge you? Then create an energy budget. Just like you budget your money, set limits on how much energy you spend on certain things, including the energy you give away to the people in your life who are energy drainers. There has to be limits, right? Because your well-being is counting on you. Number 3, the non-negotiable energy ritual. Instead of traditional time blocking, create a daily energy ritual that protects your capacity to perform at your highest level. This isn't about relaxation. It's about maximizing your capacity to perform at your highest level. So, as an example, every morning before opening your mail, ask, what does my energy need today so that I can show up powerfully, so that I can show up the best of my ability and do the things that need to get done at my most optimal self, right? So I encourage you to choose a daily practice that fuels your energy, whether it's deep focus work sprints, structured recovery breaks, decision detoxing, or even strategic solitude. Treat them as non-negotiable. Think of it like an appointment with you that you wouldn't cancel, because when you protect your energy, you show up stronger, you think clearer, and you perform at your highest level. Again, think of your energy as your real profit center, and then guard it as fiercely as you do with your time. Because your time and your energy are your most valuable assets, but only if you protect them. The way you manage them determines how well you show up, how effectively you lead, and how much capacity you have for the things that actually matter. Now, I encourage you to choose an energy optimization strategy from today's episode and commit to implementing it this week. Don't just listen and just say, okay, that was great information. Take action and experience the shift for yourself. Now, if what I touched on today really spoke to you and you're done wasting time on low impact tasks or constantly feeling like you're chasing deadlines or maybe working harder instead of smarter, then let's map out your next level energy strategy together. Book a complimentary wellness strategy session with me, and we'll take a deep dive into where your biggest energy leaks are so you can stop wasting bandwidth on things that don't move you forward. And then we'll talk about how to realign your schedule to work for you, not the other way around, so that you can have the freedom to unplug without falling behind. And then we'll touch on strategic shifts that will help you stay clear, focused, and in control of your energy every single day. So this is for you if you know you're working too hard for the results you're getting. And if you're done feeling like your business is running you instead of the other way around. And you want a proven strategy for optimizing your time and energy so that you can actually have the freedom you set out to create in the first place. Because here's the truth. Energy mastery isn't about doing less, okay? It's about doing what matters more and better. It's about owning your time so that you can close your laptop at 2 p.m. and spend the afternoon exactly how you choose without guilt or stress. It's about having the mental clarity to make quick, confident decisions instead of overthinking every move. It's about being fully present at dinner with your family, not mentally running through tomorrow's to-do list. And the best part, it is possible for you. The real question is, are you living that version of yourself? And if you're not, what's stopping you? So if you're ready to take back control of your time and energy, let's make it happen. Check the show notes for my email address, send me an email, and I'll send you the link to schedule, and let's get your wellness strategy session booked today. Remember, the way you protect and spend your time and energy isn't just about your business, it's about your entire life. Every choice you make today is shaping the life you'll be living 6 months from now, a year from now, or even 5 years from now. When you take control of your energy, you take control of your clarity, your confidence, and your capacity to create the success you truly want. Because real success, it isn't just about financial growth. It's about waking up without exhaustion weighing you down. It's about having the mental clarity to lead without second guessing yourself. And it's about owning your time instead of feeling owned by your schedule. So, what's one thing you can change today to start showing up with the energy, focus, and freedom that not only supports your success, but sustains it? Because when you learn to protect your energy, align your focus, and take ownership of your time, you don't just succeed, you thrive. And that's the kind of success that lasts. Thanks for listening today. I hope you found value. Until next time, keep dreaming, keep believing, and keep designing your extraordinary life one day at a time. Thank you for joining me on Her Extraordinary Life by Design. I hope you've been inspired and empowered by the incredible stories shared on this show. If you enjoyed this episode and the conversations we've had, I would greatly appreciate if you could take a moment to leave a review. Your feedback and support mean the world to me, and it will help others discover the podcast and join our empowering community. Remember to hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode. Together, we can continue to learn from these amazing women, uncover their extraordinary journeys, and be motivated to create our own lives by design. Thank you again for tuning in. Until next time, stay empowered and keep shaping your extraordinary life one day at a time.
For those of you who dream of a world where music and podcasts live together in perfect harmony, now, for the first time, Electricast gives you a magical compilation, Pod Till You Drop, Volume 1, where we give you the best in tunes and the best in podcasts. Feast your ears and hear the culture. Available now wherever you listen to music. Electricast.
Everyone has heard about the U.S. space program, but what is actually going on at NASA? Get the real story in 4 minutes or less with the NASA Daily Podcast from Electricast. Join astronauts and researchers as they conduct groundbreaking experiments, work on the International Space Station, and reach for the stars. NASA Daily, your cosmic update.
Electricast. Electricast.